You have about 85 days before it's too late to take advantage of a move as the dollar keeps crashing and cryptocurrency hits its next leg up. We are now in altcoin season. The reason why I can say that is because Bitcoin just tapped a new all-time high. You're going to see Ethereum blow past its all-time high pretty soon, and altcoins have already started to follow. So I want to talk about the dollar. I'm going to talk about crypto. I'm going to talk about React. And today is the last day for the $100 React challenge. It is as simple as this. I hope that $100 does not break your bank. I hope $100 you sneeze $100. If you do not sneeze $100, don't do this. I don't want to see some stupid comment 3 months later. I put all my money into this, and oh my gosh, I'm down 20%. You're like, oh my gosh, don't do it. Okay, type one, everyone, if you understand what I'm talking about. I'm showing people my new pick. I went from XRP to XCN, now React. Sure, there's been other picks, and yeah, they've all made money, and people didn't pay attention. If they're still holding, they didn't listen to every video, and I'm like, hey, I took profits here, I took profits there. I tell it every time on the channel. But this is a longer term pick. This is a company that's solving a very serious problem that Ethereum has. Ethereum's key core developers couldn't figure out a solution a while back, and they gave up on it, and this company figured out a way. So I linked down an exchange down below. If you want to buy it, you'll get 20. That link gives you 20% off your fees forever. And then I put the official React coin market cap page so you buy the right one. Not, none of this is financial advice, but I don't want you buying the wrong thing. All right, so the US dollar is falling. Let's show you this first with as best as my screenshots can do. Oh gosh, that's horrible too. All right, now my phone shut off. Supposed to be live. Screwing up, Ninja. All right, here we go. All right, this is the US dollar. We're right at what? 97.71. Hey, look, is it reversed on your side? Type yes or no if it's reversed. All right, here's the dollar. This is a 1-year chart. It was doing really nice until February, and then whack. Can you type in whack? That's a 1 year. This is the 3-year chart. Can you say whack? It just keeps going down. Holy cow. The phone's reversed. That's weird. All right. So the US dollar is no bueno. Bitcoin in the last 3 years, holy moly. It's hard to be all serious when you're making money. And I hope all of you are making money. It has been going up, right? I don't even know what the price of Bitcoin is right now. I don't care. But for just to give you an example, as the dollar's going down, Bitcoin's going up, gold's going up. And the dollar is still not looking good, right? Because we have all kinds of problems all around the world. Well, we've got certain cryptocurrencies that are highly leveraged, altcoins, when they hit this specific time frame. Now, let me try and explain this. It is very hard. I use this 3-prong approach to pick my cryptos. And it's very confusing for a lot of people, but for me and Dylan, it just makes sense. First off, we use technical analysis, right? But that's not our number one focus. It's actually our last. What we do is we understand what cycle we're in when it comes to the broad crypto cycle, being the Bitcoin is number one, right? And then you have Solana, Ethereum, XRP, and a couple other main nets, main layer ones, they're called. And what happens is Bitcoin comes up and then starts to sell off a little bit. Money cycles from there into the main nets, right? Then after the main nets come up, they cycle into the altcoins, okay? So what we do is we look at where we are in the altcoin season. Then we couple it with projects that are newer, or in a cycle. I'll give an example. When a company is brand new, it's called the shiny object, the lure. It's like, and people get all excited about the new thing. There's nothing you can do to change it. There's amazing projects that have been around for a while, but you can't deny the fact, look, what's that good dude doing there? Is he going to end up right there? Squirrel. You can't deny the fact that that's where the public goes. That's why you see crap coins like Fartcoin and Dogecoin explode, right? So you take that cycle of these new projects and where they are, making sure that they're real projects. They've got real teams, real people, and all that stuff behind them. There's more people. Then you take that cycle, you couple it with the altcoin cycle, and then you look at its chart and you look at its technical analysis and see if it's ready to blow up. So I brought up this React network, right? React was a coin conversion from PRQ. Don't get hyped up on PRQ. It's a done project because what they did is a 1-for-1 exchange. Actually, I had a little bit more than 1-for-1, I believe. Exchange into this new blockchain. They had a new problem to solve, and Ron Kai, the CEO of Reactive Networks, and just so you know, have any of you, just curious, type 2 if you've heard of Stansberry Research. Type 2 if you've heard about that. I used to use their research a lot a long time ago. And before React actually did its token migration, it switched over, they actually did a whole publication on how this company was going to change the way that Ethereum smart contracts interact with data oracles and how it's going to be a seamless transaction, right? So they delisted the proper way from Coinbase, because that's what you have to do when you do this type of turnaround. They gave all of the PRQ holders a long time to get their coins converted from PRQ into React. And then they started trading on React on multiple exchanges. That's why I give you the crypto.com link, because they have yet to relist on Coinbase. And I know for a fact that they've already got all their documentation with Coinbase to do the listing, which in and of itself becomes a very lucrative time to own a token. When you own a token on another exchange and it lists on Coinbase or Binance, try to keep a straight face. When it does this, a lot of liquidity floods in from a bunch of noobs that don't know what's going on, and then the price spikes. Now, that in and of itself is not enough for me to sell React, right? But it is a really cool catalyst. So, and right now, React has I can't tell you which one because I don't know which one because of NDAs. I'm just not that close to the team yet. But I am talking with the team, and I'm going to release my interview with Ron Kai that I did in Singapore, I think either later today or tomorrow, depending on scheduling. And then I'm going to be doing a very in-depth one, very technical interview, which I normally don't do that kind of stuff on this channel, later this next week with him. We've already been talking. But if you look at the price action in just the last day, because people started aping in, right? And I wouldn't even call this aping in. Right now, the market cap's at 37 million. To be honest with you, I think anything under a $300 million market cap, which is like a 9 times its current price, is a gift. Because after watching the CEO talk back and forth with Vitalik Buterin, and Vitalik acknowledging that this was a real thing that they wanted to accomplish, but they just simply couldn't do it, so they gave up on it. And Vitalik said, hey, I'm going to just let the market decide or figure this one out, because that's for layer twos. And what is a layer two? A layer two is a company that wants to build their product on top of Ethereum. And that's what I mean, on top of, right? So it interacts with the Ethereum network, but it needs real-time data oracles. And I'll give you an example, like a loan company that wants to loan money around the world for banks, be a problem solver for banks, or be able to take fiat currency and exchange it for cryptocurrency. Well, it needs real-time data on how different currencies are priced every second of the day, or how different currencies versus different cryptocurrencies are priced every second. And rather than take that data and strip it down off the blockchain, analyze it and then re-upload it over here, that's centralized actions. You want a decentralized, trustless action where you are able to take that data feed of constantly changing valuations of currencies and be able to interact in that nanosecond with loans that are going to be made, or transfers of currency or value that are going to be made from credit cards to fiat, or credit cards to crypto, that kind of stuff. I hope you're sticking up with me. Type 3 if this is making sense to you. So that's what Reactive has done. Now, there are companies like Chainlink and DIA that are oracles. They actually supply data feeds to these blockchains, and that's what I said. They strip it down, analyze, re-upload, centralize. Right? Reactive figured out a way of doing it seamless, right on chain in that second. Okay, so that's why you're seeing the team from Reactive speaking at these events that most investors don't go to, because all 99% of crypto investors, I don't know if you know this, they're just in it to make money, a quick buck for a quick flip. And there are a few people like myself, and banks and institutions, and I just went and spoke in front of a group of big investors, not small investors, right? Investors that work for large companies, that are looking to make billions of dollars, not thousands or tens of thousands or even 100 grand. Okay, so that's what they care about. And now I want to bring this up. What is this guy out? Crypto Gems. You got this guy out there, 500,000 subs almost, now talking about React. So now you're going to have more and more, as the price action moves up, people talking about this. When I say you've got 85 days left, it's not clickbait. See, I've done lots of videos in the last year where I said, hey, you got 14 days left, you got 21 days left. And that video is about this specific crypto in this cycle, right? And some people went in and bought it up and it blew up. And it's come back down because the entire market came back down. If I had a dime for every time someone said on the internet, or in the comment section, oh my gosh, your what is it called? You'll look, let me give an example. Some smart guy just said it right here. You'll lose your money on React. Don't do it. This Mary OD6, right? So if you listen to someone like that 3 days ago, you'd be out 50%. Matter of fact, I think I talked about React, what, 6 days ago, and it's already up that much. There are a lot of people that sit there and whine, but they don't look at these cycles or look at the bigger picture. XCN is a prime example. Hey, watch this. Type up or down. If you are up or down on XCN, watch this. This is going to be amazing. You're going to see this in real time. Okay. And I'm going to explain this to people because you have to think about a bigger picture and a longer cycle. All right. Up. We got some ups. Down, down, down. Okay. Up, up. I'm not going to do this whole video. We're going to get a couple more downs. All right. Check this out. Down. Every single person that's down on XCN, because it's, what is it, like 1 cent or I don't even, it's something like that, right? They bought, as I was doing videos, more than likely, on XCN's firing up and all this news, and oh my gosh, we're so stoked, but they didn't buy it when I said to go buy it. I didn't sit there and in any of those videos when somebody said, it was already up past what 1.2, 1.3. I never did a video, you should buy it. I was just like taking victory laps. Woo, look at all of us, because thousands and thousands of people bought it in December and the first week of January when it was less than half of a penny. So every single one of us are still up. Now, are we down from our all-time highs? Heck yeah. How many of you took profits when I took profits at 4.5 cents? Type me if you took profits at 4.5 cents that day I did that video. And the truth is, most people, all they did is they ape in because they're greedy. Now, are all of my positions, or most of them, down because of a cycle in and out that I did to take profits and rebuy? Yep, because the entire market's down. But they're not paying attention to what's just started with the next all-time high in Bitcoin, the all-time high in Ethereum, and they're going to miss out. And actually, what's even crazier is most people, like 70%, I'm just making these numbers up, but it is a lot. When they buy something and it goes down, and at least they're smart enough to hold, right? Because they don't sell at a loss. That's the dumbest thing you could do, is everything's going down. It's one thing if a company's crashing because there's some scandal, they did something stupid, right? But if they're smart enough to hold, you know what they do? They sell it the second it breaks even, not understanding that the entire market's going up. But it's because they're not investors. They're speculators. But at least you didn't lose money in that scenario. So right now, I'm telling you, my call's Reactive, and I think anything under a $300 million market cap is a gift. So write that down, like screenshot it, like to do whatever you want. That's my call, and I put my money where my mouth is. So I'm pretty stoked where we're at right now. because that means there's time to pick up more. Now, I'm not going to pick up more because if I pick up more, then people are going to whine that the price is going up. But that's just me. And I'll make another uh, prediction, and I could be totally wrong. I've been wrong before. I'll bet they'll be reporting that whales will be accumulating it, and you'll start seeing wallets, off exchange wallets with these big amounts, and all of a sudden that in the next like week or two, because the news cycle is going to start changing, and you're going to start seeing this, start to pick up because more and more people, as the price goes up and the wallets open up. I think the amount of wallets that hold React in the last week have doubled because of Ninja Nation, with just a little bit in each one, which is awesome. You don't ever put too much money into one thing and then you freak out because it causes emotions. I've learned this the hard way. Um, it causes your emotions to run wild. Shoot, I've got an investment right now that I'm nervous about. I put a lot of money into it. I'm nervous, and it's just those things where you just got to control those emotions. And how do you control them the best? You put little bits out into multiple things that you understand, you believe in, but you understand the fundamentals, so that if they go down and you understand the fundamentals and you just check, has anything big changed? Anything bad happened? No. Oh, this is a buying opportunity. That's how successful investors invest. So again, I'm going to put the link down to crypto.com. That link is very special. It's not like everyone else's, because crypto.com said I'm one of the only people that has ever decided to split the commission amount with the person who uses it. Most people just take it all. I don't like those people, but that's okay. They don't know. So you'll get 20% back of all your fees in rebates. And then I put the official reactive link too. So, $50, $100, if it doesn't break the bank, and let's just say this, check this out. What if it went to zero? Well, if it went to zero and you had never bought a cryptocurrency, right? But you said, you know what, I'm going to take $50 and I'm going to buy this. I'm going to start an exchange account, and I'm going to do it just because the ninja said this will change my life. This is why it's going to change your life. It's going to change your mindset, because you're going to now have a new skill set, because you now have a cryptocurrency exchange account. You've done what 99% of the population has never been able to figure out how to do. You bought something, you did some studying, and even went to nothing. You're like, well, let me try something else. I know that sounds like a crappy thing, but you always got to look at worst case scenario. But now you're ahead of everyone else. All right, anyway, I've talked long enough. The Economic Ninja is out.